Well, guys, we finally made it. Our 7th and final installment of Let's Talk Handhelds. And today we have the Nintendo Switch. And I know what you're gonna saying. It's not a handheld completely. It's a hybrid, but it was kind of what pushed me over to the edge to make this series possible. So this is the case that I was talking about, kind of mentioning a little bit in the Vita video that you may have watched. It's very similar in construct. I'm looking for my Vita. There it is. Quite a bit bigger, as you can tell. Obviously, the two systems are quite a bit bigger. Similar thicknesses, but I feel like the build quality is pretty much the same. It does say Amazon Basics on the front. That's where it originally came from, so I really don't like that. I wish it had a Nintendo logo on there. So if I ever find a sticker or something, I might just stick it on there. But it does offer that same level of protection. The Switch is in there, and it does have a similar comfortable grip on there. And I really do like this case a lot. You can see inside of it, there it is. Nice and safe. I just booted it up. And it does have a similar, it's got foam in there. It's a really snug fit. I don't know if it'll fall out of there. So it's not quite as snug as we saw in the Vita. And this is like a really cheap plastic right here where you can put some games and stuff. But I don't have too many games, and I really don't like this. I wouldn't like that scratching against my screen if I didn't have a screen protector on there already, which I do have a tempered glass one on there. Definitely recommend that. Otherwise, it's just kind of cheaper foam on the inside. I feel like the outside is still pretty solid quality. As much as I love this case, I don't ever really use it because I love the Satisfy grip very much, and it was thanks to beat 'em ups that kind of pushed me over the edge to get that. So this is the Satisfy grip. Since I play predominantly in handheld, it's only natural that I got the Satisfy grip, and there it is inside of there. This is a really soft material inside, and this is secondhand actually. I got this on eBay, and I've got like one game. I only have one physical game. That's an extra SD card with some games on there. But I do have Animal Crossing, of course. And that's that. We'll just slap the grip on there because I don't play it at all without the grip on there, at least in handheld mode. And it's very comfortable. It's got a nice kind of similar texture to it, like the Elite controller, or maybe even kind of similar to even the outside of the case. Not really. No, I lied. It's more similar to like an Elite controller. Not quite as grippy, but it's very comfortable to hold. You can even get like third-party Satisfy grips on Amazon for a fraction of the cost. And I almost did it because I'm a cheap bastard, but I'm glad I didn't because this was worth every penny. I think I only pay like 30-40 bucks maybe it was more, but I literally use it every day and I love it. I love it so much. The other accessory that I almost bought was the Split Pad Pro, which I did use a tiny little bit, but honestly I wasn't that impressed with it. It just felt a little bit of loosey-goosey, and this feels a lot more solid. And I really like it, and the fact that this is offset to give you a little bit more room is good, because my hand would always cramp horribly on playing the PS Vita, and I forgot to mention that in that last video. I would get really bad cramping in my right hand, and this, when I first started using it, I would still feel the pressure, I guess, but it would wear off a lot faster, and now I don't feel any cramping in the right hand at all, and I can play for a really long time watching TV or whatever. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the games that I've got for it digitally, because oh baby, that eShop, it's always got something going on, doesn't it? All right, and you probably can't tell, but I just added the analog stick cap covers that weren't on there a second ago. I use these all the time too. Another reason I don't use that cool vault case is because there isn't room for them to fit properly in that case, unfortunately. Whoops. So that's another reason why I use the Satisfy case, because I can leave the grip on there, you leave these grips on there, and everybody's happy. And it feels a little bit more like a Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, just with that little bit of indentation. These were really cheap ones. from China in a variety pack. Some were really short, some were concave, convex, really long, but I just used these really basic ones. It was a little goofy at first, jumping between the analog stick and the face buttons, because my thumb would kind of get stuck on the analog stick when I jumped to these tiny little face buttons, but eventually I got used to it, and we're hunky-dory. The other thing that I got that isn't on here is actually a clear shell swap for the back of the Switch itself and the Joy-Cons, but I've been so scared, and I still haven't embarked on that journey of a shell swap yet. Plus, I don't really have the right tools to do so. So I was hoping to have that done by this video, but I have not done that yet. And the other thing in that shell swap is actually a D-pad replacement to these 4 face buttons, which I hated at first, because my first real personal experience with the Switch was with the Lite, and I had borrowed that from Replay Davenport when I was on furlough during the pandemic, and I played a lot of this baby right here, Valferis, which I did not mean to click on, but I'm still working on this final boss. It's kicking my booty, at least I hope it's the final boss. This is the dude before it, and he's not too bad. Now that I'm on camera, I'm gonna get my booty kicked, but it's that 3-headed dragon right before it, or right after it, it's really awful. But this game, it's kind of a simple 2D Metroidvania game, but it is gorgeous. It's very hard, very unforgiving, but I love it. And hopefully I'll get that boss beat today or tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, I'm rambling, but let's check out all the games, because like I said, that eShop, oh man, it is just so tempting. And I've spent way too much money. I've already filled like 2 SD cards with games, and I need to calm down. So, starting off, this is kind of a cool game. I got a lot of these recommended from Beat 'em Ups. I really like his channel. I like I'm blanking right now, but there's a lot of YouTubers that focus on Nintendo Switch games that I really like. Wolfdun's another great one. But this one's kind of cool. 12 is better than 6. It's a top-down shooter. Agony. I bought this really cheap, and I regret every second of it because it was horrible on console, and if you're looking for an even worse experience, pick it up on Switch, because it is horrible, and I was really disappointed by that game on so many levels. Animal Crossing, however, that just makes my heart happy, and I wish I had gotten it when it was really popular. I'm kind of done with it right now, but there for a minute I was super into Animal Crossing. I've never played anything like it. It was just really fun. I only have the demo for this Ape Out game, but it's really different. It's a top-down game where you're playing as an ape, busting out, that's the name, and you're killing all these dudes. It's actually really gruesome, but the graphics are dialed back so minimalist that it's fine. I got Bit Trip Runner, that's a port. Black Future 88. I play a lot of side-scrolling platformers, Metroidvania games. There's Contra, Collection. All of these games were on sale, so that's why I got them. Butcher. That was one of the only games that I've beaten so far on here. Of course, I had the difficulty cranked down because I'm a little bitch like that, and but it was really fun like that. Broforce. Oh my god, Broforce was amazing. If you do anything else with your life, just download Broforce and you'll thank me later. It's just a gem of an experience. Played that on console and it plays beautifully on here. Blasphemous is a pain in the ass. It's cool. I didn't know it was like open world-ish, but it's Metroidvania, but it's not quite as lush of a game as Valferis and Slain were. But it's still cool. I had to get it. That's just a port. It's actually Blades actually really isn't that bad. I want to get Skyrim on here at some point, but right now I'm trying to just play the games that I've got. I did get all the DMC games, even though I've got them on console. I was like, maybe if I have them on handheld, I'll actually beat them. And so far, that hasn't been going too great. But I do have Donut County, which is pretty cute. There's Downwell again, which I guess you could say I beat. I don't know. I don't know if that's really a game you beat per se, but it feels better. It feels having Rumble on this thing. Oh my god, it's a game changer too, and it is one of the games that does use the Rumble, so it's better than on the Switch or on the Vita. I mean, Fortnite speaks for itself. I don't really do Fortnite. Outlast 2. I've not played that hardly at all,
but I did beat the first one on, I think it was Xbox One. I don't know, whichever Xbox it was on. I beat it on there, and it was pretty spoopy. I know it's probably not as good as the first one, but I had to get it because it was on sale. One Strike was kind of disappointing. There again, it was a recommendation by Beat 'em Ups, and it was just a very minimalistic kind of fighter, but it was like $2, so calm down, Caleb. This one was really cute. I do recommend Old Man Journey. It's a really chill, kind of cozy game. Excuse me. Where you're just playing as an old man, point and click style, which is not really my forte, but it works for this, and I feel like I'm almost done with it. It's got some NES games there. If you have online, Mario Kart 8, I mean, it's great. I bought the Wii U strictly for Mario Kart, and if I didn't have it already, I would still have Mario Kart 8 on here, but I don't. Freedom Finger. Okay, so that's another game that I did technically beat on here. So we're getting there. We're making some progress. I had the difficulty cranked down too. It's just super silly. You're playing as a spaceship in the shape of a middle finger, and it's a side-scrolling shooter, and the dialogue is super weird. So if you're stoner, unlike me, you'd probably enjoy that more than me. I did get Overwatch. That was on sale, I think, for $20, and it was a gamble because I really don't have a lot of good luck with online games. I can play Fortnite and I can play Overwatch, thank God, because I did buy that. But Mario Kart, unfortunately, I could never connect online. I couldn't do it on the Wii U either, even though I have slightly better internet here in my current place. But I couldn't do that. And also Animal Crossing, I only connected with a friend once on their island, and I haven't been able to do it since. So it's always a gamble. Another one that I borrowed from Replay was Death by Daylight. I could not get online at all there either. So it's really hit and miss. But I could play Pac-Man 99. I could play Tetris 99. So I don't know. It's freaking weird. It's so hit and miss. Realm Royale. I think that's the one where you turn into a chicken when you die. I just downloaded a bunch of those free ones. That was kind of cute. Rocket League, have not played on here. Rogue Company, I don't know. It's another shooter. Ruiner. Okay, so this is kind of different. It's asymmetric, kind of top-down shooter, but it's also kind of open-worldy, cyberpunk-esque. I kind of thought Cyberpunk 2077, whatever it was going to be kind of more in this style, kind of a darker, grittier style. And it totes wasn't, so I was bummed out about that. Ruiner. It's not really what I expected either, but it's definitely a better game. Speedrunners, love that game. I played so much of that on Xbox One with friends. I actually never even owned it technically because I had it with gold. But if you've never played that, play with it. Play it on, get it on Switch. And I think I've been able to do online with that. I don't remember. I usually just play with bots or locally. But I love speedrunners. They're slaying. I had to get it on here, even though I'll probably never play it again. Just because it's such a pain in the ass. It's so hard. But I love it. It was a great experience on Vita. My hand was so cramped playing it on that tiny little screen. I actually had to mount my Vita onto my tripod that I'm using right now and use a DualShock controller to finish the game because my hand was hurting so bad from that freaking game. So it'd be a much more comfortable experience on the Switch. Sinner. So haven't played this game yet, but it looked pretty trippy from the trailer, and I saw it on sale on Switch, and I have no self-control. Moving right along, same story with Scott Pilgrim, kind of a cult classic. Rewatched the movie again. My buddy James, huge fan of the movie and the game, so I figured why not? We'll scoop that up. I'm a huge fan of Saints Row. Holy guacamole! Didn't really play too much of the. Okay, let me backtrack. So my first experience with Saints Row was this bad boy here, number 3, and I loved it. It was my first real experience with anything kind of third-person, open world, and I was just immediately drawn right into it. I'm much more of a linear guy, at least I was, Gears of War, kind of going into this up until now. And I played it on 360, and I just loved all the crazy crap you could do. All the customization was amazing, and the vehicles were fun, and it's just like it's like GTA, but so much more fun. I just love Saints Row 3, and I love it. Saints Row 4, also very fun, but almost a little bit too much. Those superpowers that they give you, it's like you're almost a little bit too overpowered, and I feel like it takes away from the vehicle experience, which is unfortunate. But and it's not like you can really ignore that stuff. I suppose you could turn that off, but I don't know. It's a nitpick. Both of them are solid games, but if I could only choose one, it'd be 3. So those have been running fairly decently. I haven't booted them up more than once, but I heard that they weren't very good ports. But so far, I haven't had any major issues. We shall see. Star Wars Racer was one of the first games that I purchased on here, and no regrets. I've gotten as far as I can on here, but man, that game is hard. It's a lot easier to play on here than it was on the N64, and it looks a lot prettier too. But yeah, it's a great game. Pick it up. Here's the Sundered something or other. I don't know. Haven't played too much of it. It's a weird side-scrolling kind of open-worldy Metroidvania thing too. So I don't have too much to say about that. Other than the art style was kind of what drew me into it during the gameplay trailers. I did play a little bit of Mario Odyssey, and that game's gorgeous. Getting the Switch, I was really hoping that I would kind of become more of a hardcore Nintendo fan, getting more into Mario and Zelda. So I have played a little bit of Breath of the Wild on here. It's definitely a better experience than it was on the Wii U. But there's some Super Nintendo games. Super Epic? Oh, first we got to talk about Super Rolla. As you guys probably know, I love llamas, thanks to Emperor's New Groove, and just because llamas are awesome and alpacas. Super Rolla is just this goofy, kind of not on the rails, but it's a runner game. So you're running on this llama, and you're getting burgers, and you're shooting lasers out of your face. It's got a lot of memes in it, and a lot of references to other games and just pop culture. It's just so cheesy, and at first I was like, this is awesome, and then I was like, oh, this is really cheesy and kind of stupid. But then you keep playing more and more, and you're like, no, this is awesome. I think I'm kind of getting towards the end-ish. I don't know. It's a weird game. And then the same dudes made Super Epic, which there again brings back the llama or alpaca, whatever it is. Only this time you're a little raccoon. It's kind of like Rocket Raccoon. Controlling this llama boy who has kind of a duck face. It's weird, but it's not a runner. It's a platformer, and you're fighting pigs, and it's kind of making fun of pay to play mobile games. And it's weird because sometimes you'll be in the game and you'll walk up to an actual QR code. So you scan that QR code with your phone, and it pulls up a mini game. You play that mini game and get points, and you actually get. It gives you a code, and then you get unlock shit in the real game right here. So that's kind of a trip. Tetris 99, mentioned that earlier. Bridge, kind of a puzzle game. Haven't played too much of it. The art style kind of reminds me a little bit of the misadventures of PB Winterbottom that was on 360 and PS3, but it's honestly nothing like that. Really, I don't know. It's a puzzle game. There's Breath of the Wild again. Excuse me. Taki. Dude, I was so stoked to see this on the eShop. I had no idea it was on here, let alone have it remastered. And holy biscuits! Let's just fire this up real quick. Sorry, Slane, we're gonna kill you for a second. But so, fun fact: I randomly found this Super Nintendo game at I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but it was Taki. The label was ripped off, so I didn't know what it was till I booted it up. And it's just a goofy side-scrolling platformer, which I love. But you play as this monkey with a big head, and you spit on enemies. That's your weapon. I'm just kind of stalling as this loads. But it's just kind of a really goofy game. Got a lot of personality to it. And I think that really translates great to Switch. Here he is. But this looks amazing. They remastered it, and just look at this lush animation. I know you're not really going to get a full sense of it coming through my phone, but it's amazing. I mean, just look at all this cute personality to it. It's a prince that was captured. He gets turned into an ape. You probably saw that a second ago. And so you're trying to save. It's basically Zelda, but you play as a monkey. Got to get the princess, but it's really hard. You die in 2 hits, I think. 1 or 2 hits, so it's very unforgiving. I don't know why. In 1 hit. I don't know why I gravitate towards these super hard games, but I always do, except for Animal Crossing. But yeah, that just tickled me pink when I rediscovered Taki on the Switch. So check that out. Then you got this weird little thing that James made me download, Tori 3D. It's like Mario, but it's like, I don't know, if you're on acid, you might like it. It's just kind of a cutesy game, but it's got really hidden dark elements in it. It was like $1 or whatever, so no, don't waste your time with it. But Typo Man, I've always been curious about that. It's been on every console, so it's another platformer. Kind of reminds me of Limbo. So stay tuned for my more further investigation on that. Unravel 2, that's really cute. I haven't played the first one, but this is the only one that was on Switch, so I got it because it's totes adorbs. And there's our boy Val Ferris that pushed me to get this system. Warface, another free shooter. Warframe, another couple of more shooters that I just downloaded because they were free too. So yeah, that is everything that I have on Switch. So yeah. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much my experience so far with the Switch. I do definitely play it docked a decent amount. I've got my dock actually on my coffee table all the time, so it's really close. I can just pop it on there, play it on the TV, grab it in handheld whenever I want. I would really like to get a dock that would work in conjunction with the Satisfy grip. So if you guys have any ideas on that, maybe a reshell or something there. I'm very hesitant to try anything that's not official because I've heard all the horror stories about it possibly breaking the system. So that's it there. Eventually I'd like to get maybe a terabyte micro SD card because, as you can see, I've got a lot of digital games on there. It's just that darn eShop. What else was I gonna say? I totally forgot. I've been rambling long enough, but man, it kind of sucks about that Switch OLED. I mean, maybe we'll see another Switch. I know the internet is still very upset about that, but I am kind of excited about the Steam Deck, so we'll just see if that becomes a mainstream device or not. That GPD was always on my radar too, all the different versions of that thing. So I don't know, it's just a crazy time, cool time to be in handhelds and see what the future brings. So thanks again for watching this video and all those other videos before it. I will see you guys in the next one.